Comedy, the fine art of wrapping your lips around a despot's meat wad and doing tricks on it, as the young people would say, until dear leader has blasted the old state-sanctioned glory juice and gives you a pat on the head like the good little Hoovervac that he trained you to be. I'm sorry. Is real comedy too graphic for you? Don't tell me you like that physical comedy baby shit.
Pathetic.
The last time that we discussed comedy on this channel, we talked about how Bill Burr, after bad-mouthing comedy savior Elon Musk, displayed a general inability to adhere to Rogan's 3 pillars of modern comedy. Comedy is built upon what I call the 3 pillars of humor: brotherhood, entrepreneurship, and men's health. Upholding these pillars are the Greek titans of the Rogan sphere, real men who know what comedy is truly about. Joe Rogan, Bert Kreischer, Ari Shaffir, and all these little buddies. They are the ones defining what comedy is. So let's dive into this and figure out why Bill Burr is trying to kill comedy. Well, it turns out I may have been wrong about old Billy Boy, which is crazy because my comedy analysis is always spot on. Turns out Bill Burr and many other famous comedians are actually practicing a more traditional form of comedy, derived from the classically trained jesters of yesteryear who knew that they who made the king laugh the hardest was the finest comedian in the land. And their job is so much more philanthropic than people give them credit for. We all know, if the royals are happy, we peasants should be happy. A happy royal family will treat their subjects well, and as they say, keeping the king laughing stays the decapitation hand every time. But everybody seems to be mad at kings lately.
If President Trump was a king, the government would be open.
Terrible. Not funny.
And subsequently mad at the jesters who performed at the Riyadh Comedy Festival that was held by the government of Saudi Arabia. And it's got people thinking things like, hey, you know, you criticize Elon Musk one day, you take it back from Saudi Arabia the next day. It seems like you got a fence post so far up your ass that your breath is smelling like a popsicle stick. I mean, comedians are, you know, truth tellers, freedom seekers. Who better to send over to Saudi Arabia? It doesn't make sense. Here, this article from The Hill sums up very nicely why people are mad. American comedian Tim Dillon knew the rules when he accepted an invitation to perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which runs from September 26th until October 9th in Saudi Arabia, for a reported handsome fee of $375,000. He and the other star comedians who agreed to perform, including Dave Chappelle, Pete Davidson, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, and Louis C.K., had to abide by the Saudi government's content restrictions on jokes, which forbid humor that might embarrass the country or Saudi royal family. As I told you before, this is an ancient tradition of jestering here. Dillon violated the self-censorship rules, let's call them what they are, by satirizing Saudi Arabia's dependence on migrant domestic workers who labor in slave-like conditions. Slaves are hard workers, Dillon joked in a mocking defense of the practice, and for the most part, agreeable. No surprise when he was then fired from the festival, right? Actually, it was a surprise. That's because when Dillon made the joke, the festival hadn't yet begun. He wasn't even in Saudi Arabia. He was in America, on Joe Rogan's podcast. But the Saudi government had apparently thought that for such a generous performance fee, Dillon would censor himself, even while in America. They heard what you said about them having slaves, Dillon's manager told the comic, and they didn't like that. The comedians who declined invitations to the festival did so largely on moral grounds. Some cited the Saudi hijackers who mounted 9/11 and the fate of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi after he refused to self-censor. The festival overlapped the 7th anniversary of Khashoggi's murder and dismemberment on October 2nd, 2018. Shane Gillis, for example, said he'd turned down significant bag to perform. I took a principled stand, but you don't 9/11 your friends. For other comics, it was show me the money. Pete Davidson, whose firefighter father died in the 9/11 attacks, was persuaded by the paycheck. I get the routing and then I see the number, and I go, I'll go. Comic Jim Jeffries explained that one reporter was killed by the Saudi government, unfortunate, but not a hill that I'm gonna die on. True, NFL stars will soon be playing in a flag football tournament in Saudi Arabia. U.S. golfers previously signed on to the Saudi-sponsored LIV tournaments that competes with the PGA. And the Metropolitan Opera just reached an agreement to become the resident winter company of Saudi Arabia's new Royal Diriyah Opera House. So why shouldn't stand-up comics get their share of the Saudi loot? But along with prodigious sports and entertainment talent, Saudi Arabia is buying respectability and a distraction from its human rights abuses, which did not end with Khashoggi's murder. According to Human Rights Watch, the festival began just months after Saudi authorities executed a journalist for his public speech. Something was lost the moment comedians agreed to self-censor in exchange for money from Riyadh's authoritarian regime. So what was supposed to be a celebration of the Saudi Arabian state's love of slapstick has turned into some principled stand. Yes, apparently the thin-lipped, selfish-mouthed comedians who were deemed unworthy of a serving of royal meat are a little upset about the whole thing.
Well, there's a Riyadh Comedy Festival. I don't know if you heard about that. This is true. There's a Riyadh Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival. I mean, how do you even promote that? You know, like, from the folks that brought you 9/11, 2 weeks of laughter in the desert. Don't miss it. I mean, the same guy that's going to pay them is the same guy that paid that guy to bonesaw Jamal Khashoggi and put him in a fucking suitcase. But don't let that stop the yucks. It's going to be a good time. Full disclosure, I was not asked to perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, so it's kind of easy for me to take the high road on this one. Easy to maintain your integrity when no one's offering to buy it out, you know?
Nah, this is just jealous beta talk, which Rogan is well aware of.
This is how Mark Maron works. He sees you get successful. He feels bad, so he comes up with a reason why you're bad.
Exactly. And he'll find some like intellectualization.
He like positions himself as this intellectual, but he doesn't say anything interesting.
Yeah, I think
there's nothing that guy ever says where I'm like, wow, that's a unique insight. Also, too obsessed with himself to be reflective enough to understand like why other people don't like him. In the 90s or something like that, if you supported Andrew Dice Clay or something like that, like you didn't really get any heat. Nobody cared. You could do an interview and you're like, I think Dice is hilarious. You wouldn't like lose sponsors. You wouldn't, nothing would happen. Yeah. But now there'll be like an organized campaign to try to take you out.
Oh yeah, with bots.
Yeah.
I think a little bit, that's what the comedy festival, the Riyadh thing was a little bit.
Probably.
Because it was so peculiar. It's like they're already so entrenched into like our entertainment, and then all of a sudden we went out. And I think sometimes something gets a little bit of buzz, and then people, you know, send the bots to create a little friction or separation.
And then people hop on board.
Exactly.
See, that's the humility that somebody who didn't get invited to the Royal Family's Comedy Festival should be showing, right? Next year, he may be on the list. Rogan once again displays alpha superiority and dominates Maron in the good little peasant category. Andrew Schultz went to dance for the royal family as well, and he has the right idea too.
I love seeing these motherfuckers going on there to little shows and saying like, well, but America is bad too. Well, shut up, dork.
People don't decide where they're born, you idiots. Even the Middle Eastern ones, though?
Maybe not them, they're beneath me. But like, maybe just the white countries. Because that's what they're all saying, right? They're like, how dare you perform in non-white countries that don't have the exact same rules as us?
Because what they're saying is you're taking money from the government.
Good, my fans get a discount.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So you'd rather I charge the oppressed people full price? The people you think are oppressed pay full price?
It's just ridiculous. You don't need to explain it by like the bad things America has done. Like I see all these people doing these mental gymnastics because they're like trying to justify. You don't have to justify shit. Do you have fans there? Go perform for them. There are people there that did not decide to be born there. You don't get to decide where you're born. You also don't get to decide the rules of your government when there is a monarchy or a dictatorship. So you don't punish those people for things completely out of their control when they've helped you live your dreams. It's like absurd. I see people go, but what did America do to the Native Americans? Whatever it did.
You know what I mean? You're gonna make me say that today, dude. It's Columbus Day.
My boy.
Come on.
I perform at the Chumash Casino.
Okay.
I perform at all there because I'm going there and doing jokes for them. There are people that are getting pushback, and like based on some shit that they had said in the past, I kind of get it. Like, I'll be honest, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know, like, Burger's getting all this pushback, and it's like the first time I've seen in his career him not, like, aware of why it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I saw him on Conan, and again, it's a clip, so I don't want to take clips out of context, but he's like, oh, these people are, like, sanctimonious, and it's like, bro, you did say that Beyonce sold out for blood money.
Yeah.
For going to like an oil state.
Yeah.
And then you went to an oil state. So like, now the criticism for that comes from other things. They're just using this as a tool of leverage against him because they're upset at him for other things. But they're not wrong that is hypocritical.
Mark Maron, you ain't shit. That's about it.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm tired of this mother
Shit. A lot, and, not just him, a lot of these comedians ain't shit.
See, this is another brilliant observation, okay? This shits fella knows that these comedians who wise up are in for a world of hurt.
Like, I've been seeing a lot of comedians, like, trying to, like, separate themselves from Austin lately. Have you seen this?
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
I've seen a lot of these comedians, like, really trying to create distance from Austin, like, what's happening in Austin. A lot of comedians that, like, use Joe and his millions of followers to boost their careers, that went on there to promote their specials, that performed at the club, like really used Joe's power and influence that he was very generous to give them. And all of a sudden there's like a little internet backlash post-election, and they're trying to blame the manosphere for the election, not the fact that they ran a fucking dead guy and a woman that can't talk. It's like, and now I see these comics like kind of vocally talking shit, that they would talk all this, by the way, behind closed doors, because it's what comics do, but like real like rat weasel shit. Because you let this guy enrich you, you used him for his followers, and now you see a situation where like they're getting backlash, and instead you pile on for self-salvation, not get your boys back and refute some of the rumors. Now Joe can no longer do something for you, or Tony can no longer do something for you, because that's where it really comes down. When going on Joe Rogan made you a millionaire for 6 years in a row, all these comics were quiet. They were complimentary. They were being so sweet because they wanted to get in. Now that going on Joe Rogan once doesn't automatically give you a career, and now that Kill Tony is focused on more like character-based people, now they no longer see their salvation in these two people. So now they're having these honest conversations. Oh, they're saying the R word. That's my guy. I'm never gonna fucking... Nah, never. I never pile on against him.
Yeah, you could sit there and start writing out jokes with care that are actually funny in a desperate attempt to get away with association from Rogan. But that sort of integrity move is not very alpha. Small penis behavior, I would say. Everybody knows proximity to power equates to quality comedy. Just look at that weird Kill Tony guy. Look at where his comedy started. And look at where he ended up.
Normally, I don't make my political beliefs a known thing. It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for. When I lay down and my head hits my pillow, it is a fantastic pillow, by the way. And damn it, I bought 4 of them. I got to see San Francisco turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under attack, people. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right, very good. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. All right, heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that, a lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys are, this is a groany little morning crowd, huh? And all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking. For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. He took it right in the ear. Unbelievable. I thought about this. I don't know if you have. coolest place to get shot, right? If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed. If you're a Republican, he survived a headshot. What he did was so cool that Biden got COVID. Trump survived an assassination attempt, and Biden got COVID. We vote next week. God voted 3 months ago. Another great Austin, Texas resident, Elon Musk, will be speaking here later today. Unbelievable. Genius. Sorry, I listen to Elon Musk. I follow his lead. The world's smartest, richest man has my attention. But censorship is amongst us, people. It's a very, very, very big deal, and I'm just here to say that you guys are for the right candidate. Tell your friends. Let's close it out, and let's make speech free again, make America healthy again. Let's beat the team from California. The team from New York should beat the team from California, not only in this election, but in the World Series of Baseball, America's sport. I love you, New York. God bless New York. God bless America. Let's make it great again.
That's not the point. Look, everybody, you need to understand that the level of your humor is determined by your ability to align with the views of the most powerful person in the room at any given time. It's one of the reasons why a lot of these guys who are huge right now are intimately familiar with the vein patterns on Rogan's comedy mothership. They are quite good at making him laugh, and they can even do it without jingling keys. It's a true comedy skill. Now, there's another side to this whole story that you might not have considered. A very simple reason that all of these comedians would travel to one of the most oppressive government regimes in the world, next to the USA. Have you ever considered that you're just racist? Yeah, you. Whitney Cummings was curious as to why the peasants were mad at her performance at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, but after a little introspection, she was able to figure out that you're all just racist little shits. Here's what she had to say about it.
I don't think I need to address it. You guys have it all figured out. I think you guys got it.
Yeah.
You guys, I guess I'm this weirdo. I don't operate under, the idea that every government and their people are the same. But I guess that's like, you think that the people of Saudi Arabia and the Saudi government all share. Okay, so you also believe that the Chinese government and the Chinese people are exactly the same. It's just racism. I think it took me a second, because when people are going like, oh, you're doing something unethical, I'm like, oh, these must be ethical people. Let me listen. And then you're like, oh, no, you're just racist.
I bet you didn't even know you were racist, did you? You probably hate the idea of brown people laughing. You sick fuck.
Here. Hey, everyone. I just am going to start by saying brighter than I've ever been. Sorry. Look, I'm realizing when someone is mad at you on the internet, disagrees with you on the internet, I'm not, honestly, you haven't seen what I've seen, and I haven't seen what you've seen. So there's no way either of us know who we're fighting or what set of beliefs and evidence we're fighting. Like, I realized, because last week, I said what I said, and I said, and people are like, yeah, how dare you say we're racist? I'm like, I didn't call you racist. Who are you? I'm talking about the messages I read. I don't think you were one of them. But did you see the message? If you saw the messages I read, you would have, I think, said the same thing. But again, let me see your phone. I got to see your phone. I need to see what you saw about me. Because honestly, if I look at your, the TikTok videos you've seen about, I might be like, oh, you are right to think that about me. If you are mad at me, I'm on your side. If you're not mad at me, I'm on everyone's side.
Why can't people understand that the best way to reach out to people is with laughter? And I know what you're thinking. Oh, if they want to help the people of Saudi Arabia so bad by bringing them laughter, then why don't they just do any gig there that isn't directly sponsored by the government's blood money? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you just want to subject an innocent population to the wrath of a bricked-up royal, which is apparently the sentiment from the media too. In a CNN report on Aziz Ansari's performance in Riyadh, the Human Rights Watch had the gall to suggest how a rich man could use his own blood money to display contrition just for hopping on a plane to spread some smiles around the world. Here's what CNN reported in the article entitled, "Here's What Aziz Ansari Can Do With His Riyadh Comedy Festival Money." During a recent appearance on Jimmy Kimmel's Late Night Show, Aziz Ansari defended his decision to perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. He also said that he planned on donating part of the fee that he earned to causes that support free press and human rights. Human Rights Watch has said, no thanks. Joey Shea, Saudi Arabia researcher at Human Rights Watch, told CNN there has so far been no donation from Ansari, but also said that the organization would not accept one from him. They also pledged not to accept money from any of the other comedians who participated in the state-run comedy festival held in Saudi Arabia. Shea explained that the organization cannot take government funding directly or indirectly, and we're also very careful about how we accept private funding as well. Instead of monetary donations, Human Rights Watch would like the comedians to advocate for the release of Saudi human rights defenders, including Manahel al-Ataibi and Walid Abul-Kaher, who have been imprisoned by the government. Shea said her organization reached out privately to the comedians who performed, including Ansari, with a list of names of such defenders in an attempt to get them to draw attention to those who have been persecuted. We just feel if you're going to be performing, taking Saudi government money to perform at a state-backed festival, you have a responsibility to mitigate the impacts of that reputation laundering, Shea told CNN. And for that, we suggested to publicly call for the release of these Saudi human rights defenders. Kimmel pressed Ansari during their interview about his performance at the event in light of what the late-night talk show host said is a pretty brutal regime that has done a lot of horrible things. People are questioning why you would go over there and take their money to perform in front of these people. Kimmel asked Ansari, "I'm curious as to why you decided to do that. There's people all over the world that don't agree with stuff that the government's doing, and to ascribe, like, the worst behavior of the government onto those people, that's not fair," said Ansari, who also said he had put a great deal of thought into the decision. The country is essentially led by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who's at the center of several complaints of human rights violations, including the 2018 state-sponsored murder of reporter Jamal Khashoggi. He's denied any involvement. Up next in Saudi Arabia controversies, in December there's a music festival in Riyadh called Soundstorm. Post Malone and Benson Boone are currently booked to headline. Yes, the fine tradition of gesturing is back and better than ever. Comedians have finally taken to jingling keys to make despots giggle in selfless service to the underprivileged of the world who don't get to have comedy, since the mavericks of thought and comedy only exist here in the USA. And now, since this is YouTube, and in place of hunting man, satire has become the most dangerous game, this is the part of the video where I need to be depressingly obvious about my opinion so people don't think I actually believe comedy is built off the sturdy foundation of Joe Rogan's incredibly pointy nipples. Self-awareness is completely gone, and in its place is an ego circle jerk that is finally reaching the spirit bomb-like singularity. Because after all these comedians have jerked each other to completion, what then? They're forced to look each other in the eye, pants around their ankles, and look upon the mess they made she-mighty and despair. Are they all rich now? Yeah. Was it worth busting their entire career loads for a paycheck? Exposing the world to how truly stupid and greedy they are? Hard to say. When you're constantly in a state of huffing your own farts for the ego boost, you become numb to reality. So honestly, I don't think many of these guys will change. But I'll tell you this. The future of comedy will be in the hands of the next person who takes 2 seconds to sit down, stop pretending to be a gifted political autodidact who has everything fucking figured out, drop the washed-up middle-aged alpha wannabe bullshit, and write a good fucking joke.
you're shooting a key. Obsessed with no perception of humanity. Stay for bed at night. Open most of your eyes when you're scared of the fight. Itching of your delusion, it's abdication. The method of compromise of populations. They were only jokes. Turn your passions just to bring a small to the folks. All you see is bullshit and your point of humor. It's a heavy fucking process from these desperate moments. They were only jokes. Ultimate house doing it to grow. You should have seen the smile on the face of the king. The memory's getting in my head to my thing.